Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We're the Hutch Homes Group, and it is our weekly market update. And before we get into our topic today, which is talking to you sellers or people that are considering selling, we want to just remind you to please like and subscribe to this if you're enjoying getting our content every week. So let's get right into it. So we have already seen a bit of a change in the market. It's happened fairly abruptly, I gotta say. And so we want to talk to sellers about what you can expect for how the interest rates perhaps are changing the buyer demand on your home, and whether you have your house on the market right now, or whether you're considering to put your house on the market in the near future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the leading indicators that we look for when determining like the market changing is the number of showings. So last week, our showings were down 9%. And when you look at that year over year, that's 5,000 less agents opening lockboxes and showing 5,000 less than the year before. And, that's really a leading indicator of how things are going to go. Because if you're slowing down showings, that's going to slow down pending, that's going to slow down sales, right? And it's a little bit earlier than we would anticipate this time of year. So let's talk about showings.
Well, I guess I would just have to chime in that I, had some out-of-state clients this last weekend where I showed them a lot of homes. And normally if I book a showing appointment, like on a Friday or Saturday, there's not that many showing slots left. Like they fill up so quickly. Mm-hmm. You guys, this weekend, there was no issues. Like almost most of the showings were wide open. So that is, to me, a big deal. Because that's
that same thing. Yeah. It was easier to show.
Yeah.
And I followed up with open houses. I've been doing a lot of open houses for other realtors in this Portland area. And I usually check back in with them the next week and ask like, hey, how many, did you get as many offers as you thought? Kind of get a feel for what it went pending for maybe. And both weekends, way less offers. The last weekend had a lot of people still showing up, but in my follow-up, way less offers were received. It still went for a decent amount over, but it was less offers.
Mm-hmm.
That's an important factor, isn't it?
And then this most recent weekend, it was a lot slower with foot traffic. And haven't yet followed up because it's not a little later in the week, but I will be following up about the offers from last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's something we do too, just in looking for our buyers. Like we look to see, all right, these are the houses you were interested in. This is what they sold for. We try to get that feedback because it's so important. That's really how you figure out what the market's doing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it would be interesting this morning to look at the number of sales transactions that were conventional finance versus cash.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of, as interest rates have been going up, a lot of concern, yet there's still people complaining that they're getting beat out by cash offers. Well, I looked at the numbers. Out of 4,825 transactions in the last recent period, we saw, well, that's actually year to date.
Okay.
We saw 19% are cash, and the vast majority, 73%, are conventional finance, and then 4.6% are FHA finance.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see that the vast majority are conventional finance, and that's where the rising interest rates are having a significant impact.
Yeah.
What about pendings?
Pendings. Well, last week we saw, well, that sort of leads into the activity that we've seen over the last week. We saw 713 active listings come on the market. And we compare that with pending sales. There's 599 pending. So we can see we've got more listings coming on right now in this past week than we have listings that have gone pending, and we saw 517 sales in the last week. So it's definitely promising, balancing trend for buyers.
Right. A little bit of a relief for buyers.
Mhm.
I thought another statistic that was interesting is that 24% of listings that came on last week had a price reduction.
Mhm.
That's a big indicator of a little bit of a change as well.
Yeah.
And like the average price is still good. I mean, we're still super strong at the average price is 660,000
For
So
active listings.
for
So
active
that-
listings,
Yeah.
but then like the pending listings go to $625,000.
So that's an interesting thing to look at as well, of like the
Mhm.
pending are trending below what the average active is. So that's something that we're got to look at. And, bottom line, what we're looking at is this a change? Is this a shift that's like temporary? It's just like a quick reaction to one, buyer fatigue. I mean, I know, Johnny, you were talking about it one of your opens, just how buyers coming in with their head down, like they're
Yeah.
sad. I get that. The last few months have been hard. And then you combine that with the affordability change with interest rates. So is this just a temporary thing, or is this exactly what the federal government wanted with increasing interest rates to tamper inflation? Like, is this going to really stop the crazy bidding wars? I think it could. We'll see. We're in the thick of it right now. But if sellers, don't fear if you don't get 20 offers in day one or day two. I get it. Like maybe you were a buyer recently in this market and that's what you were up against every single time. But the markets do change rapidly, and that's why you need experts on your side. But I just want you to know it again, it doesn't mean that you're going to not get a good offer. Like it just, and every house is different. Some of the ones in the really competitive price points and areas are still going to be competitive, and they're still going to go a lot over. We're still going to see that, but not everything is going like that. So it's just really important to tamper your expectations a little and adjust to what is going on in the market right now, because it is a big deal. It is,
It is.
And if you have
There's an impact on like just the overall feel of it, right? Like that
yeah,
change.
and it's still a great time. It's still a great time to sell. It's a great time to buy. So but understanding these little caveats and the changes in the market really, really help you succeed and not be as stressed out in the market. So if you have any questions on that, of course, we're here to help, and we would love to help. So please reach out, and thanks again for joining us. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
There you have it.